Hello guys, what's up? This is ScherBR talking. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be discussing some of the new stuff that's coming to Romancing Saga Global. We do have a new banner, a returning banner, in a returning event in a new event, and they are all tied up together, so it's interesting to discuss this all. Let's start talking about what is new here. The new thing is we have a new Ultra Deluxe banner, and this one is about both Galahad and Death. Death is receiving his second Ultra Deluxe style. The first one was this one here that you can see. This is returning as well alongside Mirsa. And you guys know how much I evaluate Mirsa. I believe that he's one of the best styles in the game because of his AoE heal without penalty. He does not use LP. He's also a very strong damage dealer for Slash and Sun. One of the best styles to use in boss fights, while he also has an AoE option and also will debuff that are not that important in the long run, but his AoE heal and sun damage is and keeps being important. Even now, if this guy was released in JP, he will still have some usefulness. That's why I believe that he's still a huge and worth investment, even if you are just going after him. So it's interesting because Death is here on two different banners, and still I don't know if I evaluate Death that much. I will be making a review on the new version of that, but not right now. This is just to discuss the upcoming stuff. We can discuss first this battle with Death. It gives you this new equipment here. Well, if you were playing the game when it was first released, you can not get it again, so this is more for newcomers. The event's pretty bad to farm since the HP is only 850. Well, very bad. And then we have here is the new event. This new event here, to Death's Door, is interesting because of something. In this event you have to make one choice. This is similar to the first event from Galahad, where you could either get the Ice Sword or get Galahad. Here it's a little difference. You either get the Dark Sword, this is the Dark Sword, it's a little better than the Ice Sword, or you get Galahad in a special accessory that gives +5 STR. If you skipped Galahad first and you got the Ice Sword, you can now get Galahad alongside accessory. But then right now, I don't know if Galahad is all that important to get. If you skipped him back in the days, going for the second weapon may make more sense. Although now in JP they are using some different type of weapons, they will probably just replace all SS weapons that we have in the game for craftable weapons that can be upgraded, and they are just S. Yes, that's true. I don't know, the game keeps evolving, they keep changing stuff, but I got Galahad first in the first event, and I am happy with that decision. Now I will just get the Dark Sword, like I said, it's better than the Ice one, and there are more swords coming. There is one style in the game that uses a dark weapon as well, and that is Saruin, the boss from Romancing Saga Minstrel Song. He also comes with his original weapon that has more intelligence, since he is a hybrid. Then I do believe that everyone that got Galahad before will not trying to get just the accessory, because it makes no sense. Just go for the weapon, and those that didn't get Galahad before getting it now, it's okay. He's still a useful AoE cold damage dealer, but he is not at his peak anymore, and there's alternatives to his gameplay. And if you want the UDX Galahad, getting this one is also interesting, but that is only if you are much a fan of the character. Okay, so this is the event. This also increases the HP cap, this event here. Yes, it should be easier to farm than some of the current events against, you know, Apollo. Apollo events very hard to farm. Oh, and something that was not on the new section is we will receive a new welfare version of Mirsa. We have to farm, and she has some AoE options. It's interesting if you are building your own Mirsa with Final Island pieces. There will be another treasure map event, may add even more platinum tickets. Yes, I do believe that they will upgrade the story as well, give us new quests, but it's not here. We have the returning of the all the stunned caves. Well, they should also have increased status gains and also higher caps. They always change this on global. Also the return of the Seeker's Path, and you can see that there is a new cap here as well. And let me tell you, I don't really like this event for farming anymore. I just go for AoE skill upgrades, just try to increase the levels, because it takes too much time to kill the Azra, and we need a very powerful squad to do that, so it's more about trading skills than anything else for me. And now about the banners, the first one we'll be discussing is the Ultra Deluxe for Death and Galahad. As you can see, this banner is strange. There's 2 UDXs, only 1 Platinum. This is great. This gray here is amazing. And he will just eventually go to the Platinum Summons, but that's not what will happen with Galahad and Death. They will take time to return because they are Ultra Deluxe exclusives. They were buffed for Global as well, so we'll be checking and discuss just a little few of them. So Galahad first, what they changed here was some status and how his passive works. Just to introduce the character, he is a single target specialist with RNG for triggering his fast attack by any of the skills he uses. In JP, it will not trigger from normal attack, but now this Galahad can trigger his Winter Storm attack. Winter Storm is the one that you get from his first style here, the nuke, very powerful attack. It may trigger now when he uses any of his skills, even normal attack. But the problem with this guy here is that how many times do you need something like this? And you also can rely on it not triggering or triggering. He does have something good here on Global. The second skill was buffed. Frozen is a 4 BP skill that can also debuff agility. But look on his intelligence is 51. It may work right now, but it just gets hard to inflict debuffs with such a low intelligence. We got Bart right now, and he is SDR the buffer. But he's a mage, he has a lot of intelligence. The best debuffers will always be mages or characters with high intelligence. We can compare this to Global Exclusive Emilia that has way higher intelligence, and she will fail way less than Galahad. His last attack, Frozen Sword, is also with agility debuff. The power is not that high and it has delay as well, so it is good. I think they should have buffed this to large effect of debuff, since it only debuffs agility by up to 20%. That's a small value. Most skills that can debuff status are just small values, but because it carries from an attack that has 10 BP, it could have been better. Let me compare this to something. Here, we can compare this to Victor, a character that barely anyone uses, that has 40% intelligence, and he debuffs SDR and agility. Agility is only up to 15%, but his SDR debuff is better. It goes up to 30. As you can see, it could have been better, I think. It also uses 10 BP when fully awakened. Because, you know, Galahad is a premium style. If you are you want to wait 3 turns to debuff again, it has to have an excuse. So Galahad, here, for an agility debuff, he may work in some situations, but not that much as you think. The delayed attack is interesting to, well, skip turns on Final Island, and you can also retreat till you can get him to use his Winter Storm, but then when it triggers it will count as 2 moves, so I don't know how many times it will be that useful. Maybe you can use Frozen on a large enemy and then use Winter Storm with a chance, but then you are just manipulating RNG, and do you really need that? I don't know. He also has some problems since one of his passive only increases cold damage, and he also does slash, as you can see. And the new version of Grey can also do slash and cold, and he eventually goes to platinum, so if you wanna wait you can, and it will be just fine. The problem with Galahad is that 25% chance for something that is not useful all the time, it's a problem. Creator is more about AoE damage, so he's a farmer, while Galahad is single target. He may be used for farming as well, but he has not the best way to do that since his attack has delay. And his second option is an attack that is not that powerful by itself, and it's hard to use. He could inherit his AoE attack from his first style and then use it that on turn 2, but then after that he also does not have many options. He will just have to use a single target attack, since he can only inherit one skill. And that brings some problems with how you exactly build and use Galahad. We'll be discussing him on his review. As for UDX Def, we got a more intelligence buff. It makes sense because he's a character that was in need. When you look on his status, as you can see, this new UDX wins in everything. Has a higher endurance, higher agility, a higher will, so he's better offensively and also defensively. Although the skills are pretty different, this one is more about AoE damage and a single target option. He also get buff for his status in global, so he's even better. But what matters the most is his skills and how they change it as well. This guy has two different builds and they are kinda easy to work, because let's discuss something here. If you want him to use AoE, you can just go with Mortal Dark Web and then just go to Morse, and you can just awaken Morse to 2 BP so that he eventually gets back to use Mortal Dark Web again. He just stay on an AoE cycle. Just leave the second skill on MVP and you get that. If you want him to use single target, it is a little more hard because you will have to attack on turn 1. You have to increase Mortal Dark Web to 13 and then you have to attack on turn 1 with the Flash of Death. The good thing is that they changed the Flash of Death to be a fast attack, so if you want him to do single target, he will. And then you can even place him with a place with lower agility so that he does not try to use the AoE attack before he uses the second skill again. So maybe turn 1 single target damage and then turn 3 single target damage. Or you can go for full AoE, and now the full AoE build of him is better since this third skill got now a chance to instant kill. Mortal Dark Web will be able to instant kill many targets because of such a high intelligence coming from Death. Something interesting is also his passives, because he now has, on the beginning of a turn, an increase in his intelligence and will, so he's very tanky. You can even use him in the front line just fine. That and enemy stream formation, it should work pretty well. And then because of his intelligence buff, let's give a look on his inheritance. He has a medium and high chance to instant kill as well by inheritance. The large chance comes from his first UDX style, and it's not a turn 1 skill, so it will only be used on turn 2, but there's a very high powerful skill, and if it does not kill your target, it has a very high chance of instant killing. Death is known by being one of the few characters that can instant kill even enemies with resistance because of such a high chance. And then you can also try to get Death Hand by inheritance of his S style that has a medium chance. Medium chance with such a high intelligence and a passive buff also almost guarantees instant killing any enemy unless it has more resistance. So he does have now 3 attacks, if you have all his styles, to instant kill, and also one passive to increase damage by 20, and one thing that really does not help him much, that it's reviving with full HP. This will prove to be more useful in the future in tower, because you can use him as a pseudo tank in the front since he keeps getting will, but only against magical enemies. His endurance is high, but he does not keep getting it by buff, so maybe you should not count too much on this. It helps, but he's not a tank. You should not use him as a full tank. So Death has many things, very versatile, but for AoE he's now the best AoE opener for Dark. You do have Lunar Blade Plus if you got the summer version of Final Impress, you can get by inheritance, and she deals good damage, but she does not beat Death. Death will be the best one. It's hard to find a replacement till we get some future styles, he will be on top. But the thing here is how many times this will matter. I don't know. I can think about skipping him since I don't need that much AoE opening with Dark right now. I don't feel like I was lacking this. I have weaker options, but like I said, Lunar Blade Plus will have to work for me because I have to save gems. I want to see what Matriarch will offer. So Death is not bad, it just needs his past UDX style to just become better, but also works pretty fine if you just want damage or AoE builds. But is this banner so good? I don't know. I think that is easy to skip for most players. New players will not get that much out of this. Veterans may not get that much out of this. Galahad is our RNG fast. And where you use Galahad, you can use something else instead of him. And Ultra Deluxe Death is super powerful in some specific scenarios, but then you will not get that much value out of this banner, in my opinion. Although if you like the characters, just summon. I'll be making a full review later and then I'll be discussing. I still think that going for Mirsa may offer more value because Mirsa is a joker. He does something that no one else does. Not even on JP right now. This AoE heal without LP coast is insane. There are some other AoE healers, but they don't heal as much as Mirsa, and he will still be on top. And also, don't forget that he heals when he counters. He has a counter with a roll attack. He has a chance to heal even when he counters, and he also does very high slash and stun damage. Getting this other death here is a bonus, but if you want to get a character that will serve you well for future hard content, Mirsa is here, and it's more interesting than going after an RNG specialist for very specific scenarios, or just another version of death that, while very strong, is not the best type of farmer that we want in a game. Okay, so I think this is it, guys. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't. We will be making a full review later, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.